So, at the creative hour, we begin. 111 on my clock as we start this reading. I have collected these piles about a week ago. In the past few readings, I've been pulling cards about slowing down, taking our time, not rushing into things. I've pulled 4 different oracle cards that had all similar color scheme. So this yellow, this earthy, this blue. We're at a time of trying to ground, stabilize, create a firm foundation. And I wanted to experiment with this energy of slowing down, letting things cook, as the kids say. So, I've been waiting for the energy to feel right, and maybe some people resonate with this. Waiting for the right moment. We could also be in a time of gathering energy to launch us in the direction that we've been working towards. As I've been sitting with these energies over this past week or so, I've been getting little snippets, little pieces of the story coming through. Now, I have not looked at these piles. I have looked at these piles because this is the tarot. I saw this woman on Facebook named Mary Greer posted this exercise about pulling 3 cards and then drawing them all on one page. So that's what these little cards are. I have the cards that were selected for each pile underneath, and then we're also going to explore them in this rudimentary cave drawing like image that I have here. So one message that came through for the collective reading is there is no perfect time unless you count divine time. If you want to do something, if you feel called to do something, if something excites you and lights you up inside, then do that thing. Just do it. The wise words of Shia LaBeouf, just do it. If you need to wait to gather energy or to gather resources, then listen to your inner intelligence. You have plenty of time to do everything that you really want to do. And you also have to put forth the effort without focusing so much on the end result or the final outcome. Enjoy the process of creation. Let it get messy. Have fun with it. Be silly and playful. Let joy be the map to your success. If you wait long enough, eventually you may not even want to do the thing anymore. So definitely seize the opportunity when the idea strikes. Even if your only first move is writing the idea down, do that. Take that step. That is enough to begin. Now, I'm feeling called to read these piles out of their traditional order. So if we say this is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3, I feel called to skip number 1 and leave number 1 for the third. And I will begin reading with pile 2. Because a part of me feels like a majority of people are waiting for permission to begin the thing that they want to begin. So I'm feeling called to start there. You can select, you can read through, you can listen to this the whole way through, or you can select a pile based on any of the things that call your attention. So we have a keyword, acceptance. Acceptance has this dinosaur. And then we also have this card here with lots of different imagery. If you feel called to that, then you can find the timestamp below for that particular reading. If you feel called to the second pile, the keyword permission, this has a little pumpkin hashioki, kabocha hashioki, means chopstick holder in Japanese, and kabocha is pumpkin in Japanese. And the image for these cards has an owl. Lots of stuff going on down here as well. And the third pile has the keyword fairness. This little spiky seal man. And this card here. If any of these images stand out to you, you can select the timestamp below, and I will see you in the individual readings. And I will see you soon. Pile 2. Welcome. Your initial message is that it is okay to rest. You have permission to take a break, to take your time, to slow down, to be in a more observational mode of existence. Previously, you may have experienced a lot of chaotic energy, a lot of conflict, whether internal or due to being with others, being in disagreement with others, not seeing eye to eye. You've walked away from a lot of things that were no longer serving you, and you are allowed to take time to reconnect with yourself, with your values, with what brings you joy. You seem like the kind of person who needs to be told that it is okay. okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everything is gonna be okay. You're allowed to exist. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to be who you are. You're allowed to be different. You're allowed to be similar. You're allowed to be. You are allowed to be. I am filming your reading the next day after filming the collective intro. The placement is interesting because this is technically pile 2, but I'm reading it at the beginning because it's like you've always felt like you were in second place because you needed that extra push, that extra validation to know that, or to understand that you are valid. You know, sometimes you have to tell yourself that you are valid, or maybe you've told yourself over and over and over that you are valid, but that doesn't feel reflected in your experience because maybe the people you're around aren't supportive of your dream life, you know? So it's hard to start, it's hard to begin breaking free of the molds that people put you in, the boxes, the cages that people placed you in. They tried to pin you in place, but you are a free spirit. You know exactly what it is you're here to do. You just have to give yourself that permission to begin doing it. You may be feeling burnout, and so you don't know where to start. Or you feel like it's going to be a long journey. Maybe you feel lonely. And all of that is okay. Things grow in darkness. Plants, trees, especially humans. So I'm just gonna set some of these things aside. This was just to help you choose your pile. This is a little kabocha hashioki kabocha. Hashioki just means chopstick stand, and kabocha means pumpkin in Japanese. So maybe you're someone who likes Halloween, or you like the fall time. And fall is the perfect time for slowing down, right? The leaves start to fall off the trees, the animals start to go into hibernation, and it starts to quiet down as winter approaches. And sometimes when you grow up in a world that constantly wants you to hustle and bustle and do all kinds of work all the time, it's hard to slow down and take the time that you need to actually rest, right? And that can also cause a lot of conflict with other people, because if you're tired, you're not going to have the energy to interact in the world. So I pulled these cards a week ago and I have not looked at them since. And I also I got a new typewriter recently, and I wrote kind of some stuff that was coming up to me after I pulled the cards here. So let's start with that. It says, permission is a key word. That came to me in the waiting phase. You could be hesitant to start because of waiting for someone, maybe yourself, to tell you it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Or validation. Your dreams and desires are valid. Maybe you feel wrong about what you want to do or create, like it's somehow bad or incorrect. If the divine is pushing you in a certain direction, then how could you be incorrect? Your creation is bigger than you, and you won't know the kind of impact you will have if you don't start now. Start scared, start unsure, and let it grow and develop and be changed over time. It definitely does not need to be perfect from the get-go, or ever, to be honest. Let it be organic. It will evolve in its own time. This is beautiful. Pile 2. I'm just gonna leave this here. That is your typewriter message. I'm like waiting as long as possible to look at these cards. I have no idea what these are. Let's just sit in this moment of waiting. What are we waiting for? Permission, the okay, the go ahead. This image to me looks like a mermaid swimming. We're waiting for that. It's okay. Let's explore it little by little and take our time. Delay. Not everything has to happen now, and taking time to consider the outcome can be beneficial. However, delaying won't fix anything, as nothing will change. And I kind of disagree with this last little part here, that delaying won't fix anything. Because there's other cards that I've received before that say that not making a choice is still a choice, right? So there's a little bit of conflict, because we feel like if we delay, if we don't do something that we want to do, then nothing will change. But that's not entirely true, because the only constant in life is change. So when we delay, when we deny ourselves the permission to do what we want to do, we're putting ourselves on hold, right? But again, it doesn't have to happen all at once. You can do it little bits at a time. I could sit and do a pick a card reading all in one day, from the collective, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. But then I wouldn't have the energy to be able to give each reading its own time to develop and prosper and flourish into what it wants to be, right? When we give things time and space to grow, they're often more than what we expect them to be, right? I'm thinking about like a helicopter parent and how if a parent is constantly telling a child what they need to do or what they can't do, and they're over them all the time, the child can't properly grow into its own person, right? It's constantly waiting for the okay, you can do this, okay, you can't do that. It's like the child needs permission to be its own person without waiting for someone to tell them it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna shake some of this rose quartz to encourage self-love. You are allowed to be who you are. You are allowed to wait for the right moment. The right moment. There is no right moment. There is divine timing, and there is when you feel like it's the right moment. You can do things in any order that you feel is correct for you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Now, some of this particular card, this 365, there's a lot of numbers on here. You could be someone who likes computing. This could also, since it says 365, it could also be representative of a year. I'm hearing taking a sabbatical, which is kind of like a time off from teaching. It could also just be allowing yourself the time to flourish. You have permission to delay. It doesn't all have to be done right now. It doesn't have to be done this year. You can start whenever you feel ready. Your dreams are achievable. You have permission to take time to explore what it is that you want to do. I'm hearing higher perspective. All right, we have this owl imagery here on this tree branch. Nighttime, so you could be getting messages in your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. You can write down symbols that come to you. I kind of want to explore, before we get into these last two oracle cards, let's start to explore a little bit of the tarot. We're gonna delay these last two cards a little bit. So this image here that I drew with chalk pastels is a combination of these three tarot cards here. So we had the Five of Swords, which is usually about conflict, right? And this could also, it could be conflict with others, but it could also be an internal conflict, a kind of mental conflict, going separate ways. And the Eight of Cups also signifies finding a new direction, finding emotional fulfillment. And then we also had the Ten of Swords here as well, which to me is a kind of a burnout or a sense of defeat. And so what I did was I took the symbolism of each of these cards and I just placed it on this one image to try to get a fuller picture of this energy. And it feels almost as if someone is soul searching, right? You're searching for this sense of wonder again, right? Maybe we're burned out from adulthood or living a life that's not really meant for us, right? We thought that when we were kids, maybe we thought life was different. And once we grow up, we see that, like, working all the time in a 9-to-5 job, or doing things because society told us we needed to, isn't fulfilling us, and we're on this search. We need permission to go after our dreams. Maybe you've put off your dreams. You've delayed living your dream life because you did what other people told you needed to do. Or you did what you thought you needed to do to be a part of something. Whether it be society or a family. I was getting some heavy family vibes in here too. Like maybe you have expectations set up by your family that you maybe couldn't live up to, and that's causing you to feel self-defeated because you're like, oh, well, I totally could have done this. Or maybe you don't want to do that. You walked another way. You tried to defend yourself, you know? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, I'm feeling a sense of excitement, right? We're excited to finally peek and see what's gonna happen. I have not looked at these cards for over 2 weeks. They've been sitting here in this pile, anxiously awaiting to be read. Anxiously awaiting for permission to be seen. You have permission to be seen. You have permission to not be seen. If you want to stay in your room, that's fine too. You are allowed to do whatever you choose to do. Ooh, okay. So we have number 39. And this immediately, I saw like an alien face figure. I have not used these cards in readings before. They're ones typically that I use the book for, but there's a lot of red and a lot of green. I'm seeing like open arms almost. You have permission to not know the outcome of your choices. And that, I think, is sometimes really hard to sit with, is like the unknown, and that can also cause delays. That can also cause us to freeze up before taking a chance on the things that we want to do. This feeling of uncertainty. I'm seeing a lot of rootedness, root down. Take a nap. So this grounding, with all this swords energy, this airy energy, you could be someone that overthinks a lot, or using a lot of brain power, and so you need this rest so that you can re-center and re-ground yourself so that you're not so floaty or flighty. Right? Take a seat on a branch. See, and now we're excited. Once you start, you're excited to get to the end. You just want to see what's the outcome. Allow yourself to be held by gravity. Allow yourself to sink into whatever is holding you up, whether you're laying down, whether you're sitting down, whether you're standing. Feel gravity pulling down on your body and anchoring you back into the earth. It's interesting, the imagery on the Ten of Swords, because it kind of fits that. You're being pinned down to the ground. But because it's swords and because it's this airy energy, it's almost as if it's an invisible pinning, right? These thoughts in our mind are keeping us in certain patterns of conflict. And you just need to take time to rest and figure out what dreams you want to bring into your reality. I'm hearing, make haste, don't delay. And this could be this sense of urgency to go quickly because we're gonna die. Right? That's our end goal in life. Or our end, not our end goal. Like, it's not the goal to die, but that's the final destination, right? So it's like you have to explore while you have the time. Alright, let's look. You've been waiting this entire time. I feel like we need a drum roll. Drum roll, please. The moon. Okay, this actually ties in perfectly. The cycles of the moon. I was seeing a lot of different cycles. You know, there was this spiral on the back here. This cycle of needing permission and waiting and going and waiting and stopping and going is also was coming up. But the moon is typically also a card of the unknown, right? Maybe you're moving into unknown territory. There's also a moon in this card and in this card as well. Intuition. Use your intuition. Let your intuition guide your choices, right? Emotions are typically intuitive. I kind of would like to read the imagery or the meaning of this book here. I would like to read the meaning of this card in the book. So we're on 39. Card 39 says channeling guide. So you have a strong ability to communicate the messages and teachings of divine beings, whether you are aware of it or not. You are receiving guidance and messages from those of other dimensions of existence. One of your gifts is having the ability to share these higher teachings with others. Sometimes you simply speak the words that are needed without even knowing the effect or power of what you have said. The channeling guide asks that you work on fine-tuning this gift Meditate, listen, and follow the guidance you receive. So this adds another layer to this. Your intuition, your ability to channel things could come from your dreams. That also makes more sense now why these swords are showing up, or why it's feeling defeating. Right? Maybe you're getting these channeled messages and you don't know what to do with them, and you need permission. You keep delaying because you need that permission to be like, it's okay to have this ability, right? Maybe in your childhood you showed signs of this, but then other people sort of stuffed it down inside you and said, no, don't behave that kind of way, right? That's where a lot of this conflict came from. We'll take that loud vehicle as confirmation. This inner conflict, it became inner conflict, so, and you have to go on this soul journey and rediscover the wisdom that is within you, that wants to move through you. You are a conduit. You just have to remember. Pile 2. You have permission to be who you are at your core. You have permission to be yourself. You have permission to explore these parts of yourself that you've hid away. I love you so much, and you're doing an amazing job, and it is okay. It is okay to be who you are. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Take care. Welcome, 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 Pile 3. I won't make you wait any longer than you have to. Before I started this reading, there was some really loud birds outside, which made me think of that quote, "The early bird gets the worm." And as this is technically Pile 3, and I'm reading you in the second position, it seems to me like you're a kind of person who shows up to things very early and then has to wait for the rest of the event to take place. It reminds me of like when you go to a doctor's office and the doctor makes you wait to be seen. Right? Even if we show up on time, we still have to wait. And something about this feels unfair, because it's like, well, I'm here, so we should get the party started. Right? But also the world doesn't revolve around us. I was also having if this is your pile, you have this little spiky seal, which to me symbolizes boundaries. And you know, it was very quiet before I started this reading, and now all of a sudden there's a plane overhead. So we have to take a higher perspective. This spiky seal is making me think of having very rigid boundaries, right, to protect ourselves. I also waited an entire day between Pile 2's reading and your reading here. So your keyword fairness is making me feel like, you know, this waiting period is unfair. You're a very quick individual, right? In this image here we see there's so many planes. It's funny because I was actually gonna wait until 11 a.m. I sat down around 9:25-ish, and I sat here and meditated on the cards for a little bit, and I kept postponing and postponing and postponing this reading to see how long I could wait. I was thinking of waiting until 11 a.m., but I was like, no, it's quiet right now. This is the perfect time to do this reading. And now all of a sudden there's all these planes. So it's like there's interruptions, and it's like it doesn't feel fair. It's almost like if you sit down to do a meditation and then suddenly all of these distractions come up. And it's like you've been waiting all day. I'm picturing a baby, right? You just finally put your baby to sleep and you got time to sit with yourself, and then all of a sudden you get bombarded with other things, and it takes you away from this quiet waiting space, and it almost doesn't feel fair. There's like this explosion of distractions around you, and you're just trying to find some peace. I want to wait to pull the oracle cards. For each pile, I wrote a little note on my typewriter about the sort of energies that I was feeling for this particular kind of reading. This, what are we waiting for? Question. So I'm gonna explore that first. So for pile 3, your channeled word is fairness. It makes me think of a balance, of weighing the pros and cons before making any moves. You value equality and making sure everyone has a piece of pie that they can enjoy. I'm going to pause right there for a minute because this made me think of you're overgiving, and maybe you're waiting for your piece of the pie. You keep giving to everybody else instead of giving to yourself, and it's like when you try to give to yourself, there's some kind of interruption. And I continue, there is a heavy feeling of guilt that you seem to carry, or a feeling of some perceived wrong. You could be a kind of person who is waiting for some kind of punishment or justice to be served. Quit waiting for divine punishment. The universe doesn't keep score to maintain balance. So it is, I'm getting the sense that you're a kind of person who gives a lot. So on this card here, we're going to explore these a little bit. This King of Cups has this emotional trickle down. I drew kind of this waterfall over the cliff. This is the cliff for the Fool card. So this particular card is a mix of these 3 cards below here. So to explore the interconnectedness of these 3 cards here, and this is from the Catacorn Tarot deck to remind us to be playful. So we have the Fool card, we have the Two of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. Oh, it's the Queen of Cups, not the King of Cups. Okay. And so I'm just going to move some stuff around a little bit. In this picture that I drew, the Queen of Cups has sort of this trickle down. So it's almost like if you are the Queen of Cups in this situation, we'll say the Fool is your children, right? We're gonna roll with this children thing. So your children are leaving the nest, right? The cliff is like your home. The Fool is your children leaving the nest and going to explore their own sense of the world, I guess. If you are this Queen of Cups, right, and you're constantly giving and pouring from your cup, when your children leave, maybe there was this exchange of love between you and your child, and then there was this waiting period of waiting for them to leave the nest, right? And then now that they are finally leaving the nest, it's like you're waiting for what's next, or you're waiting for your reward for taking care of them, kind of thing, right? This person to me looks like they're dancing, right? The reward is in the process of helping this child grow. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a child. Maybe you're a child-free person or a childless person. So this could symbolize, a project that you've been working on, that you've been waiting to put out into the world, right? And it's sort of in this process of this planning phase, right? I mean, it's in an in-between space, in a liminal space. So let's see. Our word is dumbfounded. Sometimes there are no words for things that happen, and the best you can do is shake your head, have a giggle, and move straight past it. So with this added here, it's almost like you feel like you've done everything that was required of you. And it's almost like I'm getting the sense that you gave up your entire life for whatever this thing is that you've taken care of, right? And I'm getting the sense that you feel... I'm trying to pick it up. It's a very deep feeling, right? Almost like a wound, like a how could that happen? How could that? It feels unfair. It's like you waited for this moment your whole life, and then when it finally happens, it doesn't feel how you thought it would feel. And it's leaving you questioning. It's like, well, why? The back of this card makes me think of organization. So you could also be a kind of person who likes to keep things organized. I'm picking up like Virgo vibes, but you might not necessarily be a Virgo. You could have heavy Virgo placements in your chart, but that's not necessary for this reading. So family. I love and respect my family for all they do for me. So it's like you gave up your life. You gave up your dreams to build this life for your family. You sacrificed. And this is also making me think of a sacrifice. A jumping off a cliff is a kind of sacrifice, right? We don't know what's at the bottom. But the fool takes a chance on this. Right? He's mid-jump. So it's like, now that you have this free time, why is there so much noise now? It literally was so quiet before I started, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna start this because it's nice and quiet. It's the perfect time. Now there's sounds of construction. Fairness. It's like, how is this fair? I just want some peace and quiet. We have to like carve out certain times, maybe in the middle of the night, when everybody's fast asleep, right after they go to sleep, then you carve out this time. I have some jade here that I'm just kind of moving around for the ambiance. I'm actually not quite sure the spiritual meanings of jade. I have explored them once before. It's a royal stone, royalty, kind of like those Queen of Cups. All right, let's continue exploring. Ooh, okay. I see Gabo here, the rune of a gift. I'm also seeing an eye. It's almost like you have a gift of seeing. And with purples and greens here, purple, again, the royal color, we were just talking about royalty. So it's like royalty, wealth. It's almost like, oh, I see, our lawn guy is here. I didn't know he was here today. That's okay. It's almost like you have this inner knowing, this kind of divine seeing. Or like you projected sometimes. What is the word I'm thinking of? Maybe you had a kind of vision that you thought was going to come to pass. Or maybe it did come to pass. Like you saw this vision, but you didn't want to believe it. And then it left you dumbfounded because you were like, oh, what is this power? I'm going to read. This is from the Path of the Soul Destiny cards here. I'm just going to read a little bit of the guidebook. Let's see what further messages we can get from this. We're number 26. Third eye. The third eye rules psychic abilities and clairvoyance. Although every human is born with the ability to see beyond the known, it does not mean they always access it. Your intuitive gifts and abilities are very strong. When this card appears, it is because you are ready to move to the next level in the development of your inner seeing. Intuitive development is important for your growth at this time. Expanding your gifts not only benefits you, but also aids those who need the guidance and support you can provide from Source. This is also on page 44. So this is making me think about, now that you have all of this free time, you can put time into honing in your skills or developing gifts that maybe you hid away from yourself in order to play this role, right? For a long time you were helping to make everybody else feel safe. Maybe you were their comfort person, and over the years you developed this kind of barrier. And this could also be a barrier that keeps people out, but it could be a healthy barrier. I don't know, I'm hearing explore. Go explore. Find something. There's like this sense of not apathy, apprehension. There's a fear of leaving what you've known to go discover something new, or to discover something old that you pushed away. Alright, and our final card here is Middle World. You're at a crossroads. You could be someone who is a kind of mediator for other people. You could have been the mediator for your family, right? You could have seen things that were going to occur and you told them to somebody, but maybe they didn't listen. I'm getting the sense that you're just tired. Maybe you're tired of waiting for your turn, tired of waiting for your reward, your recompense. Right? But you can give that to yourself. Fill your own cup, girl, boy, whoever you are. You know, you can love your family, but you can also, like, go your own way too. You're not stuck where you are. You can create a new family. Again, this is a very general, wide reading, so if something resonates, if something doesn't resonate, you can leave it behind. I always encourage people to write down, if you want to go back and rewatch, and just write down what is relevant to you, and then journal about it a little bit after. It's almost like you're waiting for your turn. And you've been waiting for a long time because you showed up to the party early. I'm almost hearing, like, stop waiting, take the jump. Just do it. You'll be successful. And if not, then if you're not successful in something, you'll at least learn. You'll learn something new. Right? I'm seeing these roots here. Root down. Root. And again, this sort of barrier around the top of the tree here is making me think of boundaries. Or maybe you need to set boundaries and leave a situation that is unfair. Either way, that is what is coming up for you, pile 3. This was actually quite a little bit of a shorter reading. But that's what I have for you. I hope that this was helpful, or at least helped you to see something in a new way. Thank you for joining me today. And remember to balance your shadow and light. I'll see you soon. Pile 1. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have been waiting a very long time. So, I pulled these cards about 3 weeks ago, and I've been doing this practice of yielding, of waiting. So these have been sitting. I have not looked at them. I know what these are because I used these tarot cards to draw this image. But you've been around for a while. If you chose this pile, you had the dinosaur. And this is just here to help you choose a pile. But you've been around a while. And you're sort of comfortable with waiting, right? You don't have any problems with waiting. It's interesting because you're pile 1, so typically you're the first pile to go, but in this particular arrangement, I did the piles out of order, and so I did your pile last, and you were the longest to wait. But you've accepted this. You've accepted this fate that waiting is just a part of this life, right? And it's like you stopped fighting. I'm hearing you stopped fighting in this image here. Or actually, I'm going to start with these. So this is just a quick crayon interpretation of these cards together. So we had the Page of Swords, the Queen of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. And here in this image, I'm seeing the Queen of Swords and the Page of Swords kind of fighting over the nest, right? So this could be a mother-daughter type of situation. It doesn't have to be, but I'm seeing like the family down here. It could be siblings arguing over something. But it's like the happiness is already present, even when there is conflict, you know? I'm just going to set that aside. I typed up a little message for each person, or for each group, sorry. And I haven't opened this since I wrote it 3 weeks ago, so, and this was just kind of like my initial feelings for each of these groups after I wrote these keywords. So we're gonna look at that first. So pile 1, the word that came up for you is acceptance. Accept there is no perfect time, there is only presence. They say that acceptance is the final stage of grief. You could be feeling afraid to move on or accept some kind of change or loss. You could be waiting for the pain to go away, or for the rain to clear so you can see the silver lining and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Acknowledge whatever emotions come up for you. None of them are bad. They are an intelligent part of our human design. Okay, so this is a little bit opposite of what I was gathering now. This acceptance. So you've accepted some kind of change or loss, perhaps. You've accepted that change is the only constant in life, right? I don't know, I keep looking here at this conflict, you know, maybe you've moved away from some loved ones or some family because of some conflict that was happening at home. But maybe not. Maybe you were seeking something more. Appalled. Others will look at you for guidance on how to react, but the key to overcoming the situation is by masking your true feelings and showing only mild dismay. You know, typically we're told not to mask our true feelings. It's almost like you didn't want to be seen a certain way, right? The Page of Swords is like the Fool. So it's somebody, in this image here, somebody new to maybe hunting, right? I'm really drawn to this bird's nest here. It's like this sense of you were hunting for a sense of freedom, maybe from your mind, maybe from other people who were trying to control your mind, or who are trying to manipulate your way of thinking. This Queen of Swords here is on this cloud, right? So this image of this older, more wiser person, right? Telling you how you should be living your life. And maybe that went against what you thought was successful. Right? Maybe success to you isn't having a family and kids. But rather going after the things that you enjoy. I'm not seeing this as like a bad thing. Like, I'm not seeing this cat trying to attack these birds, but more observing them, right? You're observing the beauty. Whereas maybe the Queen of Swords does want to go after the birds. In this image here, her cloak has the birds on it. So it's like she wants to take control. But the Page of Swords is more curious about them. Let's see what else we have here. We have some sacred geometry. It's like you're stepping out of this box that people were placing you in, right? This image is full of these little boxes. We have knowledge is power. And a car horn just honked. It's almost like we're challenging this knowledge is power, because the Queen of Swords has higher knowledge, right? The Queen of Swords hypothetically has more knowledge than the Page of Swords. If the Page of Swords is just beginning this mental journey and the Queen of Swords has been on it for a while, it's like we're in these two archetypes are in conflict with one another about what actually brings joy or fulfillment or success. Ooh, okay, this seems like a merging. I'm getting a sense of merging here, of these different dynamics. A blending of courage with desire. And I'm also hearing like a melting pot. I'm seeing a pear, so nourishment could be significant. And I'm going to actually read what the book says for this card. This is the Path of the Soul Destiny cards. This is card, oh, that's not right. They look similar though. The light within. You're awakening your inner light. Card 27 is doves. Okay. Okay, so these birds could be doves, which is, doves signify love. The doves represent the cycling from the old to the new. It is important to remember that you are not alone during these times in your spiritual journey. The doves are here to remind you to allow the peace and love to nurture you through this time of change. You will receive the energy and strength to do what needs to be done. You are fully supported. Know that it is okay to ask for the support you need. This cycle will end soon, and you will experience the full bounty and beauty of this wonderful growth. Okay, that adds to this. So you could have been trapped in a cycle of, I keep coming back to this fighting with this older person, right? And you're like, just because you know more doesn't mean you're more powerful than me. Right? Both of these characters could be equally as powerful. But it's like, and again, this fighting is happening in the mind. So it's like the person who is experiencing this is in their mind kind of questioning authority. And overcoming these feelings of masking. It's like you have to unmask and be yourself, accept yourself as you are, even if these older people are telling you that they may feel appalled by you, by how you present yourself. Right now, because of the rainbows here, I'm thinking about queer presenting people. And again, it kind of falls in line. Maybe you don't want this traditional kind of thing, and you're sort of fighting with these older people who think they know better, right? But you know yourself best. You know what it is that you want. Thunder. It's like you're fighting back now. You're taking back your own power. You're like, no, I know what I want. I'm seeing an 8, the abundance again. Thunder reminded me of a Thor. You could work with Thor or Zeus. I'm seeing buffalo in here too. That's interesting, like a stampede. It's like you have, I wanted to say you have a group of people that are supporting you, that are in your corner, right? That are fighting for you, fighting with you. And there's more rainbow symbolism here as well. 56 is 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. 7 plus 2 is 8. And we have this 8 here as well. And I kind of want to read this card as well, but it's in Japanese, so let's see if we can sift out. And I haven't practiced Japanese in over a year, so I might not be that great at it. I just want to sift out any further information. Card 56. Thunder. So, it is in Japanese, so it'll give me a second. Buffalo. Yep, there's buffalo in there. I wonder, let's just look up the symbolism of buffalo. That seems like a good idea. There's a helicopter outside. Let's look up the symbol of buffalo. Spiritual meaning of buffalo. Because this feels significant. Abundance, gratitude, strength, and resilience. So, the provider, okay. Prayer and praise, giving back, facing challenges, tackling adversity, the herd, humility. It's almost like I'm getting the sensation that this herd was against you, right? Or being pushed out of the herd, almost like the black sheep or the scapegoat, right? And now that I'm seeing like the Tower card, it's like you were pushed out of this herd and kind of pushed out to be on your own, to fight for your own self, right? But you've accepted this. You've accepted that this family was not actually yours, right? And now you have the power. You wield the sword to go find your own family. Maybe that's it too, is like this, I'm seeing this cat as coming in and trying to be friends with these birds, right? It didn't feel like a conflict. It felt like a curiosity. It's like, I know I look different from you, but can I join you? Wow. That's beautiful. And I'm getting the sense that they also accept you. Like these people that are different from you accept you. But the people that you came from maybe didn't accept you. But you are capable of finding the love and the community that is right for you. That's so beautiful. It really is, honestly. And if this is the community, this my channel here, if this is the community that you feel comfortable in, I'm so grateful to have you here, honestly. I'm about to go do a live reading on Twitch, so you can join me over there if you'd like. It is Monday when I'm doing this. This reading, of course, is timeless, but I want to try to do Twitch readings on Monday and make it like a consistent thing. I accept you. I love you as you are. You are a beautiful human being. And you have all the knowledge, right? To make the decisions that you want to make. And it's interesting, your name could have an A in it, which is probably a majority of names have A's in them, but we had this appalled, acceptance, and abundance all have A's. So A can be, that's the number one, and this is the pile number one. So maybe you're a leader. You're meant to go lead. Get out there and go lead. Lead your life. I love you so much. If this resonated, you can give it a like. You can share it with a friend. You can subscribe for more. I sometimes do collective readings. I sometimes do these pick a card readings. This particular reading was kind of new because I spread it out for a very long time. Again, 3 weeks ago I pulled these cards. I had no idea what this was going to be. Your energy feels very soft and gentle, and it's like you were uncomfortable in whatever this conflict was, and now that you're out of it, you're accepting that this was for your growth. And I'm so proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. I love you so much, Pile 1. I hope to see you again, and remember to balance your shadow and light. Take care. See you soon.